Hey everyone, it's John here from Hot Take Hockey, back with another video, and this video is on the Edmonton Oilers and my lineup prediction for them in the 2021-2022 season. So how I see them starting, I'll talk about what I see from them going forward throughout the season, and just talk about power play, penalty kill, their whole roster, and stuff like that. So Edmonton Oilers, interesting offseason. Fans of the Oilers, welcome if you're new. Any fans, welcome if you're new. If you're a new subscriber, drop a like, leave your thoughts in the comments, or reach out on social media. I want to look through the Oilers roster here and build a lineup, talk about the lineup, and see where they can go going forward. So let's start with what I think's going to happen. What I think based on Ken Holland, based on what he's built, and based on what I think Dave Tippett is going to put on the ice. So let's start with what I think's going to happen. So based on last year, based on what they added, I think McDavid, Puljujarvi, Hyman's probably going to be the top line. They've talked a lot about Hyman and McDavid together. Hyman and McDavid have been training together in Toronto, I believe. Puljujarvi on that line still. And then bringing back the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Draisaitl, Yamamoto line. So that line was super successful. We've seen that in the past. I think at times you can have McDavid and Draisaitl together, but I think those are the top two lines probably in what we're going to see. Foegele, McLeod, and Kassian. So I think we could see some of, and I'll kind of shift to a different lineup variation here, but I think we could see some of Benson or Marody could be there as well. But McLeod's been the guy that they tested in the lineup, and I think he could be there. But I could also see Derek Ryan as the third line center and Devon Shore as the fourth line center, and then slot someone else in that left wing. So I could see some variation of that, but I think Foegele and Kassian will most likely be in that bottom six. And then, of course, Nurse, Barrie, Keith, Ceci, and Russell Bouchard. And then Smith, Koskinen, Stalock. So that's kind of how I see it for the defense. I could see you swapping Ceci and Bouchard there, Bouchard with Keith. But this is how I see it. And I don't think there's too much debate in terms of like all six of those players in the top six being there, unless you like switch Nuge to center, or like Puljujarvi on the third line if you want to shift things up a bit, or Ceci and Bouchard switching. Like Nurse, Barrie, you don't fix what ain't broke. So you keep that, and Mike Smith's your number one. I think there could be a trade with Koskinen leaving, and you have Kyle Turris still under contract, but that didn't really work. I think he could get another opportunity, but we'll see. So this is what I have for hot takes. If you want to talk about hot takes or some things that could happen, some outcomes that could happen, some of these are more unlikely than others, but anyway, so Draisaitl with McDavid and Hyman. So we've seen Hyman with the Leafs with Matthews and Martin, Matthews and Nylander. So if you want to go big time number one line, that would be Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman. Okay, so I have Holloway here. So that's probably unlikely, but you never know. If Holloway impresses in camp, you never know. He's super young, and you want to develop him. You don't want to rush him. So that's where I'm like, okay, I think they could have a young guy, whether it's Holloway, Ryan McLeod. One of these guys could be there. But I think it's time, and this is just my opinion. Maybe other Oilers fans disagree. I think some Oilers fans will agree. Marody and Benson, it's time to give these guys an opportunity. Whether you take Devon Shore out of the lineup, whether you let Ryan McLeod develop more, because McLeod's younger. Like Benson and Marody are ready, and they've put up close to a point per game in the AHL. I think it would be really entertaining. And you probably already noticed, I don't have Kassian here. So in this scenario, Koskinen's here, but I don't have Kassian. Kassian would be gone maybe in a potential trade. But even Kassian could still be here, and you could have, for example, take Holloway out, for example. Holloway, get out of here for a second. You could put Hyman on the left wing with Nuge and Yamamoto. Put Puljujarvi on the top line with McDavid, Draisaitl. So Draisaitl, McDavid, Puljujarvi, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Yamamoto. And then have a third line of Benson, Marody, and Kassian. And then fourth line, Foegele, Ryan, Archibald. Like, I think at some point this season, you need to give Benson and Marody a really good opportunity. Like, not just, like, throw them on the fourth line 5-6 minutes a night. No. Like, give them a third line opportunity. See how they can do. I would be intrigued in this. So, again, Holloway's the more unlikely one. So, just plug back in Kassian if he doesn't get moved. Or if Koskinen doesn't get moved, he's going to be there. But the Oilers might still make moves as I'm making this video, right? And then if they make moves, then I'll make another lineup or roster prediction video for them updated. But the defense stays the same, basically. I just put Legason in. So I think Legason, some Oilers fans don't want Chris Russell there, so I just put Legason. Why not? So let's look at power play, and before I do that, we'll just talk about penalty kill really quickly. I don't really have a formation for the penalty killers, but Hyman's going to be a penalty killer, Derek Ryan's going to be a penalty killer, Fogel's going to be a penalty killer. So 3 of your newest additions will be penalty killers. You can use your top guys in penalty kill situations sometimes. Archibald could be there as well. So you have your options on penalty kill. In your defense, you have your options. Keith will spend time on penalty kill, Nurse will, CC will, and whoever's there, Legason or Chris Russell will spend time. So if Chris Russell's in the lineup, your 4 penalty killers will be Nurse, Russell, Keith, and CC for sure. So let's look at power play. So Puljujarvi, Draisaitl, Nuge, McDavid, Barrie. I think that's what you stick with. It's been successful. The only potential swap I'd make in that top power play is putting Hyman over Puljujarvi, but I think Puljujarvi has more of a finish, a little bit more of a skill set. So I think Puljujarvi in front of the net with Draisaitl kind of hovering down low where he usually does, McDavid up high and down low. He spends a lot of time on that right side, and then Nuge, the sneaky guy on that left. So I love the power play for the Oilers. That has not been a problem. The Oilers' power play has always been successful with those 5 guys, primarily, obviously, with McDavid and Draisaitl. And then the power play 2. So McDavid and Draisaitl stay on the ice. We've seen that a lot. You could swap guys in for the last 10 to 15 seconds of the power play, but Draisaitl, McDavid, they stay. Bouchard on the top of the power play, and Yamamoto on the other side with Hyman in front. So the only other guy I could see jumping on is Darnell Nurse, but I think you have to give Bouchard the power play opportunity. The reason why I'm also more quick to say Bouchard can go here is because if Nurse spends more penalty kill time, that's where he's going to improve a lot and be that #1 stud defenseman, the guy that you're paying to put up a lot of points, 5-on-5, and potentially on the power play, but also be that stud defenseman defensively, right? So I could see a scenario where you have Nurse on the second unit with Bouchard, and for example, you take off Draisaitl or McDavid early, or you just don't have Yamamoto there. So you put Nurse and Bouchard, Draisaitl, McDavid, and then have Hyman in front of the net. I could see that as well. Or maybe Tippett just decides no Hyman on the power play, which is also possible. So there's a lot of different directions that they could go with. But I think, yes, Nurse, Barrie, Bouchard are the only defensemen that will probably spend time on the power play. Maybe Duncan Keith, but I just think at this point you have Bouchard for a reason. You have Tyson Barrie for a reason. You don't really need a Duncan Keith on the power play necessarily, but again, he's another option. Nurse is an option on the power play. Keith's an option on the power play. But I think what's been successful, don't change. That #1 unit should stay the same. Keep Barrie there. And while I know some Oilers fans have had their frustration with Barrie, just keep what's successful. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all soon, and hope to see you in the live streams as well. All right, guys, have a good one. Peace out.